I want to show you an update on the Henry Maxwell that I've been stripping of old polish. It looks a horrifying sight if you're not used to seeing it looking like the old. This looks rather beautiful. There's a little bit of cracking, and it appears to be skin cracking, but it's not. In fact, it's the polish that's cracked, and there's actually virtually zero cracking to these skins. These are from, I believe, the mid-1930s. In my first video a couple of weeks ago, I suggested I thought about 1950, but I do think this pair is slightly earlier, having studied them carefully. Now, the polish itself, it's so ancient, it's almost turned to like a patent surface. It feels like plastic, and it's certainly not flexible. I could sort of polish over that and get a shine, but the shoes wouldn't be wearable. The polish would crack very, very severely. But the biggest issue is the skins below are actually really quite dry. And the skins would almost certainly crack around the ankle area here. Very, very light to crack there. And probably about a 75–80% risk of them cracking here. So the skins need moisturising. You cannot moisturise through this surface. It's almost like a impervious, plasticky. It looks nice, but it has to come off. And this looks a horror show, but at least I've got access to the skin. I can now moisturise that skin. And because I've taken so much of the old colourway, I can choose which colour I'm going to dye it. Because I have so many, I've actually got 3 pairs almost identical in black, and they're glorious shoes, but I don't want 3 black pairs because I've lightened this one. I'm going to do this one a beautiful sort of rich brown. Another pair I'm going to keep completely black, and another pair I'll probably do those like an oxblood, but we'll come to that later. There's still quite a long way to go. It's taken me perhaps 4 or 5 hours to get to this stage of removing the polish and the colour. Now let's just zoom in slightly and have a really close look at the skins. This is extreme. It's a bit grainy, but as you can see, there's no cracking to that skin or here. There is simply nothing there. There is no cracking. There's a slight creasing. If we look at the other shoe, we have to go slowly, give the camera a chance to focus. So that looks like the skins are cracked, but it's not. It's the polish that's cracked. If we look at the two together, if we can, actually, I'll have to zoom out. Excuse my clumsiness. Here we go. Let's just zoom out very slightly. If we look at the two together, here we go. It does look, the black one looks cracked, but you can see it's the polish that's cracked. Anyway, let's just sort of zoom out again. I'm operating the camera myself, so I'm zooming in, zooming out, forgive me. There's still a long way to go with removing. If I were just moisturising this shoe, I could just go now, no problem at all. But there's still a little bit of dye around here, which I want to lift out, because I do want these to be a lighter colour. I can get the whole shoe as light as that, almost white. You can see there's some staining, and it's just dye. Let me pop on a pair of gloves, because it's. Ooh, I've got too many there. Throw one down. The solvent's not very kind to the skin. It's not very kind to the shoes either. It does make the skin rather dry, but the skin's already dry. But so long as you don't flex the, I've got a very tight fitting shoe tree. There's no way of flexing the shoe, and I won't be bending these pieces back. I've actually, if you look carefully, the tongue has been stripped as well. I've had to take the tree out and bend the tongue down rather than peel this area back, because it's just brittle, it'll break. You can press the tongue down. And so anyway, once I come to the moisturising, these skins will revive beautifully. Brittler they are, and if I were to sort of try and bend them like this, I would definitely crack them. It is a risky task, but if you're patient enough and careful enough and do not bend the skins, you do get away with it. Here's my big barrel of alcohol. It's just isopropyl alcohol. It needs perhaps another 30 minutes to an hour of alcohol. I'm not going to do it all on camera. I just want to give you a sense of what's involved. So let's just wet the cotton wool. And where are the darkest bits? See, when it's wet, you can't tell. So as soon as I wet that, it goes dark. You can't tell if there's anything there or not. And this area here, of course, it's so much darker. We can see there's still dye there. It's all here and here. I'll do the whole lot, but you just can't. Once it's wet, you can't tell where the dye is, and nothing more to it. You just patience and the tiniest bits. That's not dirt. That's the remnants of the original dye. So anyway, it's a long process, and yeah, I'll give this a good sort of. I'll probably do this for 15 to 20 minutes. I'll avoid these areas. Actually, no, that area around there. That half needs doing. This half doesn't. So in fact, the pad dries quickly. Let's just go back for more alcohol. I did say that I might not be making, in my last video, I might not be making any more shoe videos for a while on Bespoke Addict. The UK now, I know other countries, we're not going to go into other countries, I'm going to talk about the UK here. The UK, midnight last night, it's quite early in the morning here. I'm in my salon, which is closed. At midnight last night, the UK went back into COVID lockdown. So I'm a hairdresser. You can see there's a hairdressing chair in the background here. That's an original sort of Art Deco piece. All of my furniture is original Art Deco. It's gorgeous, and I restored that myself years ago. But anyway, I can't open the salon, and I always sort of work on the shoes in the salon. I like to sit in the window. The light's very good in the window, and I'm at the salon a lot of hours. But I'm not always all of those hours with a client. There might be clients in the salon with other members of staff, but I fiddle with shoes in the window. Keeps me occupied, keeps me calm. And the truth is, when the salon's closed, I struggle to face what appears to be petty. Me fiddling about with these shoes in a business premises which I can't operate. It's quite difficult, if I'm truthful with you. You know, it's emotionally it's quite a difficult thing having your business closed. It's just one of those things we have to face. It's it is what it is. The business is closed yet again, and it's not just the UK. We've got this problem pretty much all over Europe, and I'm very sure it will happen again in the US once the election. And the election's still going on live. It's still a confused issue whether which of the two candidates is going to wave the flag. I'm not going to get into the politics of the US, but I do believe that the US will probably go the same way as most of Europe, back into lockdown, which is nothing short of catastrophic for business. And I'm having to sort of steel myself to come and come and do the shoes. I didn't really want to come here this morning. The shop's closed. I don't really want to be spending time in an empty business premises where I can't trade. But I'm still obviously liable for the costs and the bills going forward. It's not the most. Doesn't feel that friendly for me to be here. But nonetheless, the shoes do need doing. But I don't know. I'm just not sure that I'll spend a lot of time here doing the shoes. I might be able to steel myself for an hour here and there, just to keep it coming to Bespoke Addict, really. Not so much that I don't really want to be here, is the truth. It's under the last lockdown, I spent nearly every day in the salon, but I was working on the business premises, completely rebuilding the place, and it was a lot of work. It took me 14 weeks. But not the same today. Not the same. But apparently we were close for 28 days. We shall see. That pad's it's gone a bit grotty now. Let's throw it away and get another one. And the pad's obviously lifted out some of the dye. It'll take about an hour, as I said to. Whoops, I'm pouring it all over the floor, but it won't matter because the shop's open. It stinks, but it really won't matter. There's not going to be any customers in here today, or for the next 28 days minimum. But I suspect the 28 days will go on and on and on. I just can't see the recovery rate coming in time. But I don't know, who am I to say? I'm not a politician or a doctor. I'm just a mere hairdresser. So we'll see in good time. But I suppose I must try and sort of steel myself towards more normal behaviour. Irrational though this seems, diddling with shoes all the time and doing the mad things I do to shoes, this is my normal behaviour. So I suppose I must sort of try and steel myself more towards that normal behaviour for me. And even though I don't feel like being here, just coming in and doing perhaps an hour or so on the shoes. But I'm not going to go on too long, because this is very, very tedious to watch. Somebody rubbing down a shoe with alcohol and mumbling and moaning incoherently. I'm sorry if I am slightly incoherent or appear sort of sour. I'm not sour. I won't lie and say I'm not stressed. It is very stressful having your business premises closed and your staff sort of sitting at home and, you know, wondering. It's obviously I was very, you know, very keen to look after the staff, and they've, you know, particularly Darren has been amazing with me. He's been with me for years. You couldn't find a better colleague, and a more loyal person. Truthfully, my behaviour has been a bit erratic this last couple of months, just due to overwork and stress. And Darren tolerates my erratic behaviour, and I'd like to sort of thank him for that. But we'll pull through this. We will pull through yet again. It's very strange times indeed. This is not just my business. There are thousands of businesses up and down the country, across Europe and across the world, that are in a very similar position. But anyway, I think I won't be able to tell until this has dried whether that's proved to be enough. You can keep going almost indefinitely and you'll pull something out, but these are largely light enough now to dye brown. I could take those last few flashes out of the remnants of black, but I quite like them. They will sort of show through the brown and make them look aged and antique. If I take them out and completely, the shoes will look new, and I don't want them to look new. I just want them to look beautifully cherished and looked after. You know, even though this is a bit of a restoration, they won't look restored and they won't look re-dyed. They will look original. But, as I say to you, I'm going to really try ever so hard to just steel myself to come into this premises that is empty and not feeling very friendly. It just feels hostile, I suppose, because it's closed and the customers want to come and they can't, and obviously there's still you know, standing fixed costs are involved. You know, I have to still pay the bills. It does feel slightly hostile. It isn't hostile, it's just me being stupid. And it's a lovely place here, you know, but obviously when you can't trade for business, it just has a bizarre sort of feel about it. Yeah. But we'll see if I can just steel myself to keep coming in and just make these videos at least, because there's nothing to do in the shop. The shop was restored under the last lockdown, so I won't be here hours on end making films. But anyway, let's throw that on the floor. There's not much progress to show. The shoe still looks rough as heck. But this, honestly, you know, you'll be amazed if you've not seen my previous videos. You'll be astounded how magnificently, beautifully this will turn out. It will just be stunning. It won't look new, but it will. Gosh, it will look perfect and flexible. You know, it will just look gorgeous. And it's difficult to imagine something that looks this horrible, you know, coming back and looking utterly glorious. But it will. I just have to be very, very careful not to bend the skins or be tempted to try and peel this bit back to get to the tongue. I have to take the tree out, fold the tongue down. I will crack them if I bend them at this stage. They were dry anyway, underneath all that caked on sort of plasticky polish. They were dry, and of course this alcohol does them no favours. But we will be able to bring this back. The skin will come up to so soft, so supple, so flexible. It will almost appear and feel new, but it will have an aged antique patina look. But it will feel new, and they'll be very, very wearable. I'm looking forward to wearing these, obviously. And I'm looking forward to sort of showing you the progress. I will confess, I'm not looking forward to coming and spending time in this closed premises at the moment. But I'll try and steel myself just to keep the shoes coming, and just so that I can keep a bit of normal behaviour pattern coming. I don't want to just stop doing it. I did before. I didn't touch the shoes for 14 weeks under the last lockdown. And I missed it. But anyway, it just seemed wrong and petty to be dithering about with shoes under the circumstances. But I think I'm going to try and steel myself. Let's make that promise here and say that I'm definitely going to bring myself in every couple of 3 days and make some videos and keep it coming.